Hello and welcome everybody, my name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at ADA. We've had a bit of a drop down last night, we're currently sitting at channel support. Is this going to hold? Are we going to break down? Or are we going to rally? This is questions we're going to be looking at shortly. I first want to start by saying thank you for watching this video, and if you'd like to show your support, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on the bell notifications and you will never miss a video that we put out. And feel free to leave us some feedback in the comment section below. While you're down there, you can have a look at our Discord. This is where we have a load of things going on in there. It's free to join the general chat area, and once you land in there, you can mention a member of staff and we'll be happy to help you out with any questions you may have. Also in the description, you will find a link to BYBIT. This is one of the best exchanges in our opinion. It's the one we use when we're doing our trades. Whether you want to leverage trade or just spot trade, it really is a great exchange to use. Okay, so let's get into the price action. So there are a few things that we're looking out for here, and maybe we should start off by looking at it on this macro. So I'm looking for potential of a diagonal to form, and basically we'll be looking at as this as an A, B, and looking to drop down the C wave here, and that would form this third wave low. Though there are other options, so we're going to be monitoring this as this goes, and depending on what the structure forms out of these waves, we'll have to adjust the count slightly as it unfolds. But let's have a look at the most current moves. Okay, so having a look at this move here, we can see that we've had this movement within this channel here, and basically what we're looking at is the fact that this is a 5-wave move here, we have a 3-wave move down, and then I was looking initially at this as potentially being a 1-2-1-2 situation, but breaking down below this low here now has invalidated that. So the only way we can keep a potential bullish count within this is that this is a diagonal, expanding diagonal within this structure. The problem with diagonals is this, even if it is a diagonal, could just be the end of the C wave, and therefore a completed move as a green ABC. So that would be a 5-3-5 zigzag. And now we're looking to move away from this. Now basically with this move here, we're currently looking at it as just an ABC pattern to the downside, though it does look like it has a little bit more to go. I was initially having this C here because it found support on this channel line, but it is quite possible that we have another leg within this move, and basically what that would be is we'd be looking at this as a 1, this is a 1, 2, down into here for a 3, a 4, and a 5, which would come down into this 30 cent 52 to 30 cent 29 area. If we do manage to break down into this zone, I would take that as a completed move, as a 5-3-5, which is a zigzag, also labeled up as an ABC. So if that plays out, what we could then be looking for is either we would need to be on the lookout to the upside. Oh yes, that's another thing. Crossing above this 0.3160 area would effectively invalidate this 5th wave. So we want to stay below that to keep this count valid. If we do move above that, then basically what we'll have to do is anticipate that the C is completed in this position. Though the 1-to-1 of this C is actually at this 30 cent 54 area, so it is likely that we could see another leg to the downside here. This, if it is a 5th wave, doesn't have to travel into this box. It could look to truncate, maybe stop at this level, or maybe even just truncate on this trend line that's now formed here. It could break through slightly, we'll have to see. But basically what the idea is provided we don't move lower than this 0.2968 area, we could still potentially have a somewhat, there's still a very small chance of having a bullish potential here. So for as long as it exists, and as long as we don't cross below this 30 cent region, we can continue to look at the potential that we could still have a bigger move to the upside. So if let me get rid of this. If I plot this out now, basically what we would be looking at is if this whole move here is a wave 1, we'd be looking at to that high point. If let's say we've completed this drop to this 1-to-1 zone, then basically what we would be looking for is confirmation by having another move up past this 0.3549 area. That would be an impulsive trigger, and what that would do is that would effectively trigger another fourth wave to the downside and a fifth wave to the upside. So the typical area that these look to target out, I've worked this out already, is on this 3683 to this 3603 area. Basically what we'd be looking at there is that this would then be a 5-wave move to the upside from this position. Though, like I said, we can't lose this 30-cent area for that to be valid. If we did have something like this play out, basically then what we would have is an additional 1 and 2. This would all be a third wave, then we'd look to push down and up again. And if we were conservative with this and we say we just come into the lower ranges here, let's just work out roughly where we could be looking to target this. So we'd look for a retracement down here to the 0382 and then look for a additional potential move to the upside here. So between this 3682 to 3785 area. This would be interesting should it play out, because this would also bring us into this 0.618 retracement zone. So we'd be keeping an eye on what happens at this point. If this is to progress as a bigger move to the upside, we would then be looking for a retracement down into these areas, maybe landing somewhere on the top of these moves here. If we just pull a fib, this is obviously, until we get the structure, this is all very speculative, so we're just doing this for an idea of where this might end up. So a 50% retracement would take us back onto this previous resistance line here. 618 would put us right back in this zone here of previous support and resistance. So it could be a potential place we might target out at a later stage. So this is looking at a potentially bullish count within this move, where we are looking for a 5-wave move to the upside. I'm not very confident in it, though it is possible. So we could still see a move up to these zones, this 37 cent 69 or to all the way up to this 41 cent 34, though I don't have a lot of confidence because of the structure here. So if I just remove these for now, we're going to go over some other possibilities here. Should this fail to develop as an impulsive structure, what we could also get is basically we could get a combination move in here, where this is a W wave, this zigzag to the downside is a X wave, and basically we look to form another W wave to the upside. And if that is the case, then I will just get this up here, get on there. There we go, down to this 1-to-1 area. So effectively we could look up to target this 34 cent area. If that's the case, then what we would be looking for from this point is potential downwards momentum again. But for as long as we hold this 30 cent range and this 29 cent 53, there is potential for some upwards momentum to come in. And if we have a look at the stochastic RSIs on the 4-hourly and the 8-hourly, should it come up? There we go. Basically these are sitting right in the oversold position, so this could initiate a little bit of upwards momentum should these moves start to develop to the upside here. So basically that is what we're looking at for upside potential. Either we could get a 5-wave move to the upside, which basically invalidations come at this 30 cent and this 29 cent 53, or alternatively this could be a completed move and we could be looking to break down. And we're going to go over that now. So because we have 5-wave structure here, we always need to be wary that we're not going to get some extensions to the downside. So like I said, if we cross this 0.2968 area, we'd be looking at a bigger 5-wave move to the downside, and what we would be looking at then would be this as a wave 1, a wave 2, breaking down here past this zone for wave 3, then we'd have a 4th and a 5th wave like this. So the problem with this structure is this 5-wave structure here wouldn't fit on its own, and we could argue that it's a zigzag from this point, but I think by the time we start to get this, if this does develop as a 5-wave move here, we would have to be very cautious on the retracement, and as long as we stay below this 3290 area, we could still potentially look for a deeper move to the upside. So what could potentially happen if we do have this play out, so let me measure this off so we get it nice and accurate from this point. Basically, until the waves form exactly, this is all sort of a little bit of guesswork, well, educated guess I guess you could call it, and then basically if we pull this from that high point of that wave there, we could look potentially to target out this 29.39 to 29.05. So I'm just going to drop 2 price points here as a range that these could be between. There we go. And basically somewhere within this range could be our potential end for our 5th wave. Basically, with that said and done, we would then be looking for an upwards move and potentially look to maybe retest the bottom of this channel, for instance. That could fall into that could fall quite nicely into a B wave area. Let's just double check it. So 50% would be on the bottom of this channel, depending on how long it takes for this to play out. All the way up to this 0.618 would be basically previous support zones that we had here, support and resistance. So that would be an interesting area should we start to break down. If we do start to break down in a 5-wave move, basically what we need to be aware of is that because we've got this as a 5-wave move here, this could also form a bigger 5-wave move to the downside. So the impulsive trigger, or the ideal impulsive area for this wave 3 would be this 0.2743. If we start to break down from this area or fail to break back above this 3290 area, then it's quite likely we could be looking for a drop down into these zones. If this does play out as indicated, then basically what we would be looking at is a potential area of, let's mark it up nicely so we've got a reference point for later. So if we mark this up here, we can look for maybe a 382 bounce again, and then look for this move to the downside here. So all I'm doing here is just plotting out the waves using common fib relationships, but it's not ideal. Unfortunately, until the waves form actual shape, this is just basically to give us a roadmap of where we think this can be going. So if that were the case, then we would be looking for potential to drop down to this 2690 to 2630 area with this 5th wave. If this is a diagonal the way that I've got it marked up, this would effectively make the 3rd wave, and then we would be looking for a 4th wave and then an additional 5th wave to the downside. The thing is as well, there could be extensions within this wave, because if this is an A, B, and a C to the downside, and if it is going to go to 1-to-1 of that A wave, it sits here at this 2352 area. So that would be from this high point A, B, and C down. 2253 is the 1-to-1 for that. So that's what we'll be looking out for. So I just want to say thank you again for watching, and if you enjoyed the video and haven't already, please hit that like button, and if you haven't subscribed, why not give us a follow? This really helps us out, and I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their day, and until we meet again, keep safe out there everybody.